Hi, I'm Leah Metha, and today I'm going to share with you 10 rapid fire tips on how to write your job application right. Before I do though, job application, what does it involve? Usually 2 to 3 key documents. First, a really well-written, personalised one-pager cover letter, written to a specific person. 2, your resume or CV. This should be 2 to 3 pages and it should include at least 2 referees. And the third element that you don't always have, but you need to check if you do need to include it, and that is a selection criteria document. Now this is crucial. Read the job ad and the position description and see if it says selection criteria anywhere and lists a couple of points. If it does, this should be a separate document that you address each of those criteria individually with a paragraph to half a page response, depending on how much you have to add. The quickest way employers cull job applications is to look for who didn't follow the instructions. So if it has selection criteria and you only submit a CV and a cover letter, your application will go in the bin, even if it was really good. Okay, so you've got those documents. How can we do them well? Number 1, top tip, make it personal. Do address it to someone. Make it tailored to the job you're applying for. It's not just one generic resume. Number 2, keep it simple. This is not the time for fancy fonts and bright colors. You want one font throughout, good paragraphs, dot points, plenty of white space, keeping it really simple for the person to read. Remember, they might get hundreds of job applications. If yours can make it simple to read and follow, that's a big tick. Highlight you. Now, we're not very good at doing this in Australia. We tend to talk down our achievements because we're so worried about people thinking we're a bit up ourselves. And, you know, there's that real tall poppy syndrome thing going on. But if ever there's a time to own your achievements, your job application is it. So it's not about what we did as a team. This is where you use I statements. And don't lie or exaggerate, but do own the things that you've done. Think outside the square. It's not just about your work experience or the marks you get at school. If you volunteer, if you coach a sporting team, if you're the captain in a sporting team, if you've dealt with a situation in your personal life that was really challenging, but you handled it in a really mature way, include that sort of stuff too. It can really pack a punch and set you apart from everyone else. Be specific, okay? Where possible, include a specific example to back up what you're saying. So if you say, you know, I've got great leadership skills, it's not enough just to say that. But if you say, you know, I do have great leadership skills as demonstrated through my coaching of the under-9s netball team. So use those specific examples wherever you can. Number 6, include contacts. Now that sounds like a no-brainer again, but make sure you include an email address, a mobile phone number, and maybe even a landline. Now, be careful here. If you include your mobile, which you absolutely should, be conscious that you've sent that to an employer and consider how you answer the phone for the next few weeks. You don't want to answer a call from a prospective employer like you would to your best mate. So just remember that. Get referee approval. So you do need at least 2 referees. Make sure you ask them first and check that they're on board, and also tell them a bit about the job so that they know what skills to talk to for you. Print and proofread the document. It's one thing to read it on a screen. Spell check is great, but it's often when we print something out that we can really pick up the errors and see what's working or what isn't. Is it hard to read because it's all crammed in? Do I need more white space? You might even like to read it out loud. That's really where you pick up the errors. Then get someone else to read it. Run it past someone else. Again, this isn't just for errors. I've got to say, if you have talked yourself down a bit and not owned all the great attributes that you have, it might be that someone else reading it, maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a parent, will read it and go, hang on, what about this? And it might be something you have totally forgotten to include. So do bounce it off someone else. And this last point is one a lot of people don't know. Submit early when you can. The reason for this, a lot of people leave submitting their job application to deadline day. That's when most applications come in. So if there are a lot of applications coming in on the last day, the time the employer spends reading those applications may be very, very small. If you get yours in early, maybe even a week early if you can, or at least a few days, they're more likely to have less coming in and to spend more time on you. So submit it early. There you go, 10 tips to help you nail that job application. Go out there, have a crack, and good luck. Cheers.